All right, so today I'm going to go over a recent project I did for a client. And within this project, the client uses N8N, and he has maybe 20 different clients that use N8N as well. And he wants to be proactive in the way that he is ensuring that they don't go over their rate limits within N8N. So within N8N, you can have so many executions per month. So in order to check on that and solve that problem, uh, within N8N, I have a workflow here where every 8 hours, I'm going to check to see if they're getting close to the rate limits or if they're projected to go over the rate limits. So here I have a scheduled trigger. Every 8 hours, it's checking to see, it's running this workflow. So then we're going to Bubble and we're getting all of the items from a database within Bubble. So Bubble is an app. It's a website where you can create web apps, and within it you can have a database. So here we're pulling all of the clients that he has for this table, specifically for monitoring these clients, and it contains what their billing plan is, how many executions that they can get, and as well as their API keys so that we can check on what their current usage is for their N8N instance. So not all of his clients have filled out this form to provide their API key yet, so we need to filter those out. And here we just check to see if they have their N8N information here as well as their API key. So if they don't, nothing will happen. So to get how many executions that they've had on their instance, there's an endpoint. So it's their instance followed by limits. And this will give you, again, how many executions that they've ran on their plan. So then I'm going through and I'm merging this information here. So this comes along with just various pieces of information for that client. And here is where I run some code to do some projections and other calculations. So there might be like 5 different clients on here that have all of the necessary information. So here I'm getting some base information, current date, start of month, days past. And this is used to calculate some of these other items here. So we have their daily rate. So how many executions that they've had minus or divided by how many days have passed in this current month. And we need this daily rate to project how many that they're going to have by the end of the month. So, and to know that, we need to know how many days are in the month. And then I'm creating this variable here where it's taking the daily rate times the days in the month. So then I am then setting a couple new variables here, and I'm calculating how many remaining executions that they have on their plan. So they may have 10,000 executions. They've already used 5,000, so this would end up being 5,000. And we're doing this because he wants to know when they have less than 500 executions left on their plan. So then we don't want this notification going off every 8 hours. So he only wanted to get a notification every day if there are less than 500 executions left, and every week if they are projected to go over their monthly allotment of executions. So here I check to see if we've already sent them an a notification, and in this we're adding this to their bubble database, and if they might not have a notification already set in this database, so if they don't have it, then I just set it to a date in the past, which would make the notification trigger occur. So I'll go here, add a notification date if it doesn't exist. And then here we're checking to see if there are less than 500 executions. So go here and I see how many remaining executions that they have. If it's less than 500 and we haven't sent them a notification within the past day, then it will move through this workflow here. True. It goes to bubble. It adds a notification date that we for today's date, and then we send a notification to Slack so that he can investigate it a little bit further and take some sort of action. And then down here, if they're projected to go over their monthly execution limit, here's the projected executions, and I wanted to add a little bit of a buffer, so we just added 10%. So if they're, just to make it a little bit, I guess, safe, so you're not going to be right on the edge, and it could or it might or might not trigger this execution here. But we're making this calculation, seeing if they're going to go over their execution limit, and we haven't sent them a notification within the past 7 days here. Then we'll go through, update that we have sent them a notification in Bubble, and then we send a Slack message. So this is just an example of an N8N workflow and how I went about solving this issue. So let me know if you have any other projects or things that you might be able to use with N8N to automate your different processes within your business. Thanks.